Hi everybody, this is a short random video, but I was taking a bio class today. Well, I'm still taking the class, I'm just not in the class. And we were talking about the cells and the ions in them, and the gradients and action potentials, and people got really tripped up on, ooh, you got a cell and there's ions in it and there's ions outside of it. If they're at different concentrations, what's going to go on? And it's like, I don't know why people don't understand that. It's very simple, but maybe they don't have a good chemistry foundation, which is key to biology, because biology is just chemistry, really. So, have you heard of equilibrium? Things like it applies to the rates, but you also have like osmotic equilibrium. I forget there's a other term for it exactly, but you don't need to know terms, you just need to know how things work. And things are always trying to reach a balance. So if you have a permeable membrane that things can go through, and you got 10 of them on this side and one of them on this side, and nothing else, well, 4 of them from this side are going to go over there, so now you have equal, because you know how you hear that, like, electrons, they want to be as far away from other electrons as possible. Like, instead of being all clustered, maybe it'll bounce up and be in the different orbital. Well, the same's kind of true about just particles dissolved in water. They don't want to be right next to each other if they don't need to be. Now, some molecules do. They form bonds with each other. They want to be with each other, but let's assume they're not like that. Then they want to be far away from each other. They want to be evenly spread out, so it doesn't make sense for 10 of them to be here and 1 of them to be there. They spread out equally. Now, if that membrane is not permeable, as in, like, things can't go through it, well, they can't do anything about it, plain and simple. But if you were to put, like, a transport protein in there, then yeah, of course it's going to go into the transport protein and get transferred across, unless something's blocking the transport protein, or maybe you need something to activate the transport protein. But it's really not very complicated. You have things on each side, and they want to be the same. It's that simple. Now, you got 2 different things on each side, but you've got equal total amounts, but you've got, like, more of A on this side, you've got more of B on this side, but you've got, like, if you add up A plus B on this side equals A plus B on this side, well, the water is still the same concentration on both sides. Because it doesn't matter what's dissolved in it. It's the same concentration of water. The water wants to be the same concentration. So it wouldn't make any sense for one of the A's over here to go over there, or one of the B's or whatever, because even though there's different amounts of A and B on each side, you still have the same concentration of water. So nothing needs to move. Neither A nor B is going to reach a lower concentration by crossing sides. They will reach it, they could reach it in respect to their own molecule or whatever they are, but they're not going to reach it in a, like, lower overall concentration, because it doesn't matter what's making that concentration of the water what it is. It just is. What's a way to think about this in another way? Because it's very simple for me, because I started with chemistry and moved on to biology. So if you... Okay, so you've got 2 rooms, and they're small rooms, only like 10 people can barely fit in them. And you've got like 5 black people, 3 white people, and 2 Asian people on this side, and then you've got like 2 black people, 4 white people, and 4 Asian people on this side. Now, even though there's different amounts of the different peoples, like, each room could only fit so many people. And even if the rooms were bigger and they could, like, put their arms out, well, each room still, assuming all the people are the same size, they only have so much room. It doesn't matter if you switch an Asian person for a black person or whatever. they still take up the same space. The room is still only good for the same amount of people. It doesn't matter what kind of people are in the room. So, if you're in the room, why would you want to go in the other room? It would be more crowded. There's already the same amount of people in each room. It doesn't make sense for you to go in a different room because it wouldn't do you any good. So yeah, this stuff isn't that complicated. I hope you can understand it a little bit better now. It depends on the concentration of the water. It depends on the concentration of the things in the water, but if there's multiple things, then you just go based on the concentration of the water, because that's ultimately what it's about. You should brush up on osmotic pressure and osmolarity and that kind of stuff. But really, you don't need to if you just understand chemistry and all the chemical systems. They work according to certain principles. I forgot I was going to talk about something else in this video too, but I can't remember now. I should really just go to sleep. What was I going to talk about? Oh yeah. So people really don't understand biology very well oftentimes, and things that happen in biological systems. And the problem seems to be that they don't understand how chemical systems work. And if you don't understand how chemical systems work, how can you understand a biological system, considering that it is a chemical system, just a very more complex one? If you can't understand the basics, you can't understand something above it. So study your chemistry if you want to understand biology, because I take biology class. I don't study for any classes. I should, so I get straight A's, and I should make sure I turn all my assignments in on time and go to every class and all that stuff. But because I'm knowledgeable about chemical systems and biology, but I mean, even if I didn't know all the biology that I know, I was able to learn the biology I know very easily because of my knowledge of chemical systems. So I don't study, maybe the teacher talks about it one day and it's like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Don't look at it again. I don't like taking notes. All I want to do is just go to class, fall asleep half the time, and be awake half the time, and you hear it while you're asleep too. So yeah, study chemistry if you want to understand biology. You can hire me to tutor you in chemistry, but I do not want to do all your homework for you, and I especially do not want to do your homework for you, and then you go, oh, you got the wrong answer, blah, blah. No, I did not get the wrong answer. You have a stupid online school thing that doesn't know the right answer. Trust me, I don't get the wrong answer. And if you were to go to your professor about it and go, oh, well, I was told this is the right answer, but online school thing disagreed, your professor would go, oh, well, that's correct. It's just for our class, it assumes that you don't know X, Y, and Z or something. And I don't know, it's very hard to tutor people in general chemistry when they want you to help them solve problems, and then you solve them correctly, but they were supposed to solve them incorrectly because they're not supposed to know enough stuff. I don't know, it's weird. Like, why can't they just have you figure out the correct answer instead of some weird, simplified, incorrect answer? I don't know. So some cool random stuff is that, so you have like different things in your body. I mean, you know that you have your brain, but you have other smaller things in your body too. So say you want to kill something in your body like cancer. Well, different things bind to different cells in the body because of chemistry, once again. And you just go, oh, this thing, you can bind uniquely to that kind of cell. But the horrible toxin thing that can kill the cell does not. It just goes anywhere in the body. So then what you do is you just link that evil toxin to this other molecule, like a big old protein. Grabber hand. So now your grabber hand has like a nuclear bomb on it, but the nuclear bomb can't activate until it's separate from the grabber hand. Not the best analogy, but yeah. But luckily, the cancer cell is, it bites it in, the nuclear bomb comes off. So it's like your grabber hand with the nuke goes into the body, grabs onto the cancer cell, but then the cancer's out. And that nuke comes off and it nukes the cancer cell. But not a nuke, it's like a smaller hand grenade, and it doesn't kill all the other cells around it. So yeah, you can link a toxic drug to a not very toxic. I mean, this is not new stuff, it's just a random cool topic to talk about. And then it goes into specific cells, gets enzymatically cleaved off of it, and kills the cell without killing the other cells. Now, it's not perfect usually. It can still mildly affect other cells that it can sort of bind to. Oh, and I was telling a girl in my group today that you can modify drugs so that you can modify how well they can get into the body without changing their effect once they're in the body. So, kind of has to do with steroids. You can put the ester on them so that they can get time release, but it doesn't actually change the drug because the body cleaves that ester off and it goes back to its original form. But you can do the same thing, like say you have a drug that needs to be in the brain. You could make it less polar by putting some sort of functional group on there, which can then be cleaved off just like the ester can be cleaved off once it's in the brain. But it allows it to pass through the blood-brain barrier very quickly, reaching concentrations faster, delivering a stronger effect. But then it's the same drug because it just gets that part taken off, but it's already in the brains. And you could do... kind of do the opposite, which is like a pro-drug, but you've probably heard of those. They turn into the active drug once they're in the body. But you could try to do that like for the brain. You find enzymes in the brain, they can add on that last little part of the molecule that you need or modify it in the way you need. But this other molecule can pass through the blood-brain barrier better, and then it adds on that extra part, changes the other part, and then it's active. And you can do that for other parts of the body where things have different properties. Maybe there's different pH in different parts of the body. So you design a drug that only when it's at that certain pH in that part of the body that it's going to become active. Maybe based on different temperature, I don't know. But I gotta remember what I started talking about in this video so I can title it. Please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Check out my Instagram, natural_true_fitness, and feel free to hire me as your coach for fitness advice, diet advice, for supplement advice, whatever, for chemistry tutoring, biology tutoring.